Hello, everyone, and welcome to this session of analysis of agile methodologies for remotely working teams by OGMC. This is Zeeshan, and with me is Saqib Javed.
Hi everyone, Saqib here. Thank you, Zishan. Let's start the formal session with our first slide. Basically, this is the introduction of our today's session, which is analysis of agile methodologies for remotely working teams. In fact, with the advancement in technology, organizations around the world is changing the way they operate, especially in recent events related to the COVID-19 virus. Working remotely or in distributed model is the new norm, and as these new initiatives have changed the mindset, the attention has been diverted to transforming from traditional way of working.
This has put a lot of responsibility on the shoulders of domain experts and experienced professionals to seek and provide answers to the challenges this transformation has to offer. Project management has not been any different. Agile methodologies, since their inception in 2001, managed to gain a lot of attention and popularity due to its flexibility and easy adaptation. But as I said earlier, things have changed recently, and now all debates are about adopting everything while working remotely. The aim of this session is to review how different agile methodologies are effective for remotely working teams. This session is based on our research on the same topic few years back.
This session is divided into two different sections. The section one is basically we will discuss about the problem statements, previous studies, session objectives, and dynamics review. While in the second section, we will discuss about study limitations, reliability and validity, charts analysis, and expert opinion. So this section we will start with the problem statement. We know that agile methodologies requires close coordination of all stakeholders throughout the project. On the other hand, it is common for teams to be working from different locations around the world in different time zones, speaking different languages, taking care of different operations. These dimensions are two sides of the same coin, but both strives in opposite directions, and yet the modern era demands both of them to be combined together. So now let's see how agile methodologies behave to different parameters and dynamics when applied to distributed teams.
Now reviewing the previous studies. As we know that agile methodologies formally started in 2001. Therefore, there are many unexplored and underexplored areas. There are next to none research material available regarding the effect of external factors like communication barriers or supporting tools on agile methodologies in distributed teams. There are just a couple of research regarding applications of agile methodologies in distributed teams, but those are again limited to team working in just two locations. Similarly, only a single methodology is reviewed in a single study, and it is not possible to compare and relate effectiveness if more than one methodology is applied. Another limitation can be noted is that these studies are based for very small team size.
So now we are on a stage where we need to see what are the actual objectives of this session. This session is basically a comparison of five agile methodologies in distributed teams against five factors. And those factors are: number one, agile principles; number two, project management knowledge areas; number three, success factors; number four, communication barriers; and number five, supporting tools.
Next, we review different dynamics related to this session. First of all, the five methodologies used in this session. Number one, Scrum. Number two, Extreme Programming. Number three, Lean. Number four, Test Driven Development. And number five, Kanban. Most of you will have good knowledge of these methodologies, but just let's quickly have a high level review of each of them.
Scrum focuses more on having small time boxed sprints, prioritization of work incorporated into an integrated product baseline, and getting feedback. So continuing on Scrum, we can see in this slide, product owner brings user stories and manages the product backlog. The team selects the user stories for each sprint with product owner in the sprint planning meeting. And on the next stage, the team works on the user stories from the sprint backlog during the 1 to 4 weeks sprint. And the team also conducted daily stand-up meetings to review and for mutual coordination. So end of the sprint is the review meeting to show the output to the product owner. And there is a retrospective meeting in which the team reviews their strategy and performance and make changes to it accordingly.
Next, we have Extreme Programming. Extreme Programming, or XP, is one of those methodologies that is characterized by high quality and close stakeholder interaction. XP has provided basis for agile principles and other terminologies at the time of inception, like defining user stories, close interaction with customer, more focus on doing things right the first time. There are three steps in XP. Number one, the customer defines feature as user stories. Number two, team members break down stories into story points. Number three, software developers work in pairs and swap off their responsibilities on regular basis.
So our third methodology is lean. Lean is about reducing the waste. The waste can take many different forms like waiting, inventory, defects, extra processing, transportation, overproduction, and motion. While the lean has its own seven principles. Number one, eliminate waste. Number two, amplify learning. Number three, decide as late as possible. And number four, deliver as fast as possible. Number five, empower the team. And number six is build integrity and quality. Number seven, see the whole.
Our fourth methodology is test-driven development, and as the name suggests, is a methodology that is driven by testing. The test cases are written in the very beginning, which locks the scope. The development follows, followed by refactoring. The cyclic approach continues till the required result is achieved.
Well, our fifth methodology is Kanban, which is very simple but yet an effective methodology that works on the pull strategy. Simply, the resource pulls the next task from the backlog queue as soon as it gets free. And Kanban helps in avoiding bottlenecks as it operates with the psychology that all resources can perform all tasks. Kanban have five core principles. Number one, visualize the workflow. And number two, limit the work in progress. Number three, manage flow. And number four, make process policies explicit. And the last, number five, is improve collaboration.
Next, in Dynamics Review, we will see about the 12 Agile Principles. Number 1, satisfy the customer. Number 2, welcome changing requirements. Number 3, deliver working software frequently. Number 4, work together. Number 5, build projects around motivated individuals. Number 6, face to face conversation. Number 7, working software. Number 8, constant pace. Number 9, technical excellence. Number 10, simplicity. Number 11, self organizing teams. Number 12, team reflection.
The another factor which we need to see in accordance with the dynamics review, that is the project management knowledge areas, which are integration, scope, time, cost, quality, resource, communication, risk, procurement, and stakeholder management.
Okay, next dynamic is the distributed teams. Distributed teams, also known as virtual or remote teams, are simply teams working from different locations, which may be different offices in the same city or working from a remote location around the world. The distributed teams provide access to diversified skill level around the world with an opportunity to get best solutions.
So this is very important slide of the session because we are going to discuss these success factors later in the session with compared to the methodologies also. So as per the Center for Business Practices, the success of the distributed teams can be grouped into four groups. Number one is the customer satisfaction. Number two, the financials and the performance. Number three, innovation and learning. Number four, project and internal processes.
Next element of this analysis is culture and communication barriers. Distributed teams help in utilize services of the offshore or distributed teams to reduce costs or to expand the service round the clock or to provide face-to-face communication opportunity to the client. Usually, the missing part of this strategy is that the teams working on the project are not able to coordinate and communicate the requirements, and as a result, the quality suffers. In their research, Ranasinghe and Pereira have defined six most critical success factors in distributed teams, which are number one, trust, number two, efficient communication, number three, cultural understanding, number four, relationship between client and vendor, number five, contract type, and number six, efficient knowledge transfer.
So it's also very important to use the tools, and we need to see that what kind of the characteristics a tool should have. Because when we consider adopting any tool, especially in the distributed model, following four factors are very important. So the first factor is regarding tool, we need to see that how much the tool is affordable and how much the tool is usable again and again. And number three is how much it is reliable, and number four, how much the tool is sustainable in the future.
Okay, let's take a 10-minute break and we'll get back to the session. Thank you.
Thank you.